Welcome to episode 7 of the N1 with EJ podcast. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian. After a few weeks off, guys, thank you so much for all your prayers and thoughts and stuff. I've been gone a couple weeks. We haven't known. If you don't listen to the podcast, you haven't known why I have not posted a couple weeks. I actually have a little bit of a health scare. I'm not dying. Not yet anyway. But as I'm recording, it's actually in my living room. What happened was I recently I had to go to the chiropractor. Now you may have known I on the Huddle podcast I was having some issues on air staying. You may notice you watched some of the last episodes I was on, had a hard time keeping my head up. I was like always moving around and stuff. Basically, long story short, I have a bulging disc in my neck. I think it's a C3, I believe, part of my neck. And it's been very crippling in some ways because I had to make a lot of adjustments to not just the podcast. I haven't been able to record. I mean, I've done my show, but I've been able to record that show in segments in a sense because here's the big issue. Here's the reason why I haven't done any shows really, mainly not just this one, but also the Whole Lot podcast where I do it during the season every Tuesday for 2 hours, and then my wrestling podcast, Take the Wrestling. Those shows are about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. I can do shows at this point, especially on video. Well, I can do shows basically, my problem with my neck is that I can do a podcast. But after 30 minutes, say maybe 40 minutes of podcasting straight, I start to feel a bit of pain in my neck because that's part of the problem is holding my neck up. And when you're on video, obviously it looks very unprofessional and doesn't look very good. So that's why I took leaves from both those shows. My show, I can record in a way where even if I don't do an entire an hour straight, I can break it up in 7 minutes, take a break, come back later and then do the rest of the show. So I have a little more wiggle room there. Whereas the other shows, I really can't do that. I have, it's 2 hours, it's streaming, it's live, and it's, so I decided to take a leave from those shows. I don't know when I'm going to be back on those shows at this point. Still working on with a chiropractor. I think I'm 7 as of today. Actually, I went today to get my another decompression and ice therapy. And so far I'm seven sessions in with that. My doctor said that you won't see any significant changes till you're between 12 and 24 visits into your sessions. Assuming also too that I'm doing the right things also at home. So my focus has been really at home has been really just getting this squared away because this has affected everything in my life. It's affected me traveling. It affected me, my kids want to go outside and want me to throw the football. I can't do that right now. So it's done a lot. I've had to take a bit of a downgrade at work at my day job. I actually deal poker for a living. I had to take another position, which is obviously a little bit of a pay cut for the time being until I get back to a point where I can deal cards again. So it hasn't been easy. It's been a lot, and I miss doing this podcast. And, this show doesn't actually affect really because this one is not on video. It's only a 15 to 20 minute episodes a week. So I can still do this podcast where it's not really affecting my daily life. So after a couple of weeks of just kind of soul searching and trying to just figure out what's going on, I'm back, and we'll be back to doing this weekly thing, hopefully every Tuesday/Wednesday. And there's a lot to go on in the NBA. A lot going on in the NBA. That's why I want to get back to this thing too, especially. First off, as I bring up some notes here, it's been a while since I recorded this podcast. So I'm actually walking around the house and just doing this. I didn't watch the All-Star game this weekend. Quite frankly, I haven't watched the All-Star game to be real, about 10 years. And I'm someone that used to love the NBA All-Star game. My favorite one of all time was 92, with my all-time favorite athlete in the history of sports, Magic Johnson. The same year he announced he had HIV, he was HIV positive in November of 91. He was still voted in by the fans to participate in the All-Star game that same year, even though he didn't play a single game that year. And watching that game in real time in '92, my favorite moment of all time was Magic winning MVP and playing a fantastic game. So the All-Star Game has a lineage, a history, a really good history, in fact. But a lot of the argument now is players don't care. The All-Star Game has made some tweaks through the years. They've gone for the whole East-West format to now they do. Team whoever's the leading two leading vote getters in each conference. I believe those guys are the captains, and they pick a team that kind of like pickup ball style. This year you have Team LeBron against Team Giannis. And look, I don't think there really isn't a way it really is a way to fix the All-Star Game unless the players want to take it seriously. I saw the highlights of some of those games of the game on Sunday. I was like, it's kind of pathetic in a way. Like, they're playing pickup basketball and they're not even taking it seriously. It's like they don't even care. And look, I get it. It's an exhibition game at the end of the day. And to me, it is what it is. Normally you can make it something more enticing, is maybe raise the stakes on money. Maybe you can make it where I hate this idea because I know in baseball they did for a little while, and I hated it back then too in baseball, where the winner of the All-Star Game gets home field advantage, home court advantage in the NBA Finals. I hate that idea too because I think that's the Finals, NBA Finals, home court advantage should be left for actual individual team or team success. And records should matter, not the fucking All-Star Game. I don't think a team that an 8 seed someone gets hot and go to the finals should overtake a 60-win team in the other conference because that conference won the All-Star Game. To me, it's silly and dumb. And I was never for that, even with baseball. I just don't know how you fix it. Players take it seriously. You can't tell players what to do. But let me say this right now: the rating. I haven't seen the ratings back for this All-Star Game. I imagine it's not that great. I like All-Star Weekend. I think it's kind of like a Super Bowl in a sense because there's a lot of the party atmosphere that comes with it. The celebration, the Saturday challenges, 3-point contest, dunk contest, all that. That I enjoy. But I've lost interest. And you're listening to someone, and myself, who is a NBA diehard. It is my favorite league in all of sports, more than the NFL. And I love the NFL. You know that. I love the NBA. I love the rich history of the NBA. So when I'm saying things like this, it's coming from a place of care and a place of concern and a place of I want you to do better, improve the product. So, but what do you do to fix that? That's the question. I don't know how you get there, and until we do get there, we're going to continue to have these issues. So it is what it is. I know Jason Tatum won MVP, 55 points, double nickel. Good for him. It could be maybe this could be the year of the Celtics. Who knows? They are number 1 seed in the East right now currently. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they do have currently the best record in basketball, I believe. So that's my first thought of here on N1. Second thought here, and we missed this obviously me being gone for a couple weeks. Kevin Durant getting traded to Phoenix right after Kyrie Irving asked for a trade out of Brooklyn. So the Brooklyn Nets get broken up. Kevin Durant gets traded to Phoenix. A few days later after that, obviously, on paper, the Suns look like the favorites in the Western Conference, probably in the league as a whole. But let's pump the brakes a little bit from that too also. Let's show some respect to Denver. Let's show some respect to the Grizzlies, even though they've become probably the most hated team in basketball right now. Which, by the way, I think it's a good thing for the league. And I'll probably do a thing on that next week on the podcast, why I think the Grizzlies being a hated team is actually good for the league. Let's start here with Kevin Durant, though. Yes, they should be, on paper, the favorites to win the West. I don't know. I will push back on whether or not this year is the time. Now, you'll say, well, this year should be easier because technically it's wide open. There's really no clear-cut favorite, even though Denver is kind of running away with the West right now at this point, but they're not infallible. They haven't proven anything yet. Memphis, obviously, the Warriors still trying to figure things out, Curry being out and all that. There's a lot of things. The Clippers are starting to put things together. So there's obviously a space for the Suns to dominate. The question is this, though. With, I believe, 23 games to go for the Suns, or something like that, 23, 22 games left of the year, is there enough time for Durant? First off, he's injured, number one. We don't know when he's getting back here. They said after the All-Star break, it could be this week, it could be next week, who knows? Is there enough time for Durant to gel with Devin Booker and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton and them boys? There's enough time. So I would say, this is what I would say right now. The Suns, probably the favorites in the West this year, probably. I would definitely say next year with a full camp. And by the way, Durant's there for a long haul. He has 4 more years of his contract. Booker just signed a long-term deal. Chris Paul's year to year. Ayton just signed a new deal. So this Suns squad could, what you see now, could be a better team going forward because they have the core now for the next couple of years. This is their core next couple of years. So, but in the immediate, while I do think maybe they're the favorites, I would pump the brakes on just saying it's definitive because I just think a lot of these teams this year, have done a great job. And Phoenix, again, is there enough time for this team to gel in time for the postseason? The Western Conference is wide open right now. It really is. Number 3, Russell Westbrook, of course, trade to Utah. Buyout was officially done by Utah a couple days ago. He is going to the Clippers. There's a lot of opinions on Russell Westbrook and all that. I'm going to say this real quick. I'm a fan. Obviously, I've been a fan for a long time. Obviously, and also acknowledging the fact that he is chaotic, has been chaotic for a couple of years. But I think this move to the Clippers is a good one. I think this is a good move for the Clippers and for Russ. Some people disagree with that. That's fine. I think they need someone that can run an offense, a guy that can just put up points. As chaotic as he is, him and Paul George have a history together. They've played together. I think Russell Westbrook also, the fact that him and his polarizing time with the Lakers, he's now only a locker room away now, and who knows? I mean these two teams play a couple weeks actually, or I think in early April. There's a revenge factor there also too for Russ. I think the Clippers need something like this. I mean, look, I'm not saying that they're going to win the finals. Does this change? This is what I will say to the Clippers. I don't think this move makes them worse. That I'll say. It make them probably marginally better. If Russ can figure things out and flow within the team, you got Ty Lue, who is, in my opinion, a top 3 coach in the league. At this point, he's fantastic what he does. You do that. If Russ can fit in and not be chaotic, the ceiling obviously is the finals or championship. Because Kawhi, if you see Kawhi Leonard since January, again, we say Kawhi, assuming he's healthy, he's back. He's back. This is a problem. This is why the West is wide open. So if Russ can fit in, this is a team to look out for in the West that could go to the finals. You talk about Denver, talk about Memphis, and obviously the Suns now. The Clippers, dude. The Clippers, deep team ready as it is. A nice roster of players. They got Russ for nothing, pretty much. You got one of the top 3 coaches in the league. Team to watch in this second half of the year. All right. Fourth thing here in my mind here. Another buyout situation. This is closer to home. Of course, I'm a Heat fan, so this is closer to home for me. Kevin Love bought out by the Cavaliers, and he signs with the Heat. You guys know my attitude with the Heat. I've been on my podcast, Ernest Podcast, so you can check it out. I've spoken about how basically the Heat are kind of in that situation where they're a good team. They're not on the level of the Celtics. They're not on the level of the Bucks. I don't think they're on the level of the Sixers either. So my attitude going to the All-Star break and going to the training deadline was I don't give a shit what they do. I was okay with them if they could get Russell Westbrook. Throw some at the wall. Because this team it's a good team that they could win a round of basketball. No more than that. And they needed a shake-up, something. Even if it doesn't work, try it on the buyout market. Because you know what? Even when you sign a guy like Russ, if it fails, fine. It failed. But you don't have him long term. You got him on cheap. Okay? Kevin Love. This could be the move. I like this move. It adds another shooter to the team, number 1. He's still a good player. It's going to make Bam even more dangerous now. I think it adds a lot of different things that he can do going forward. Does this change? Does this make them a finals contender? I did slow down on that right now. I think Love will make them, like Russ, marginally better. I don't know if this makes them put them in a conversation as a top 4 team in the East. Obviously, the Nets not being there. Obviously, the Nets now we're losing Durant and Kyrie. That spot's open. You got Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Boston. Obviously, the Cleveland is right now is the assumed fourth team in there. But this could make a Heat Cavs first round series something very, very enticing. It's a good move for the Heat. I like the move. It's again low risk, high reward, not costing them much. Kevin Love, I was like I said, bought out by the Cavs. It's not going to cost them much anyway. So I don't hate this move. Last thing on the show this week. And one again, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today and bearing with me the last couple weeks as I continue to recover from my neck injury. LeBron James made some comments recently saying that these next 23 games going to the playoffs are the most important of his career. All right, so he says that. I don't know if I agree with that part, the career part. Because there's a lot of inside messaging with LeBron. You got to get used to it. I never, LeBron playing 20 years down the league. You got to be used to this right now. I think what he's saying there has nothing to do with his career. I think those comments has everything to do with Anthony Davis. I think he's sending a message to Anthony Davis. Yes, they want to ring together, albeit in the bubble, whatever. People have opinions with the bubble, whatever, no big deal. But AD, we know the AD thing right now. When AD is healthy, this team is a finals contender. They won a championship already with AD healthy at the right time. But this has been the narrative with Anthony Davis for his entire career. He can't stay healthy. And I know there's frustration on the side of LeBron, certainly the Lakers, of course. And who knows? Maybe after this year, if things don't improve, AD continues to not stay healthy. That maybe this talk that the Lakers decide to move off of him now. Who knows? But I think what LeBron said there about the 23 games, most important games of his career, I think is a little bit embellished in terms of him. I think that's a message to Anthony Davis to get your shit together, stay healthy, let's make this happen. They just got D'Angelo Russell. This team is not even in the play-in yet, but they're only 3.5 games out for the 6th seed in the West. They got to go 17-6 to have a realistic shot, in my opinion, to not only get in the play-in, but also get out of the play-in situation. They would rather make the playoffs altogether. But again, the West has made so much moves. Obviously Kyrie going to Dallas too, especially as well, should be able to solidify that team. But there's a lot of things that are going to go into this. But overall, I think that was a message to Anthony Davis, honestly. The 23 games, the most important 23 games of his career is really about AD, in my opinion. Because I don't think LeBron wants to miss the playoffs again for a second year in a row. I don't think LeBron's ever missed playoffs more than 1 year at a time. More than 2 years. Well, 2 years or more, should I say. So we will see what happens there. Anyway, that will do it for this today's episode of N1 with EJ. Guys, it's been a pleasure getting back. Again, thanks for your thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Big Jim, especially for being patient with me the last couple of weeks as I continue to recover from this injury. And I'm getting through it now. I'm hoping the goal is to get back to doing podcasting on a regular basis. And I mean regular, I mean not just this show and my main show, of course, my baby Urban podcast, which you guys should check out if you haven't checked that out yet. I'm hoping to get back at least by March. I think it won't be till by mid-March at the earliest. I'll probably get back to doing this, and that's the earliest. As my doctor says, it's going to take a little while for me to get back to the swing of things. And as I said, this injury affects not just podcasting, it affects everything. It's affected my actual day job. So, like I said, I'm trying to get back to normal, but I also need to there's certain things I need to do to get to that point, and for me to do that, I have to focus on that first. But I'll at least be able to do my Earth podcast, and definitely this show now going forward as I have carved out some time now to look, it's a weekly podcast, 20 minutes or less a week. I should be able to fit it in, right? And I watch a lot of basketball. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much again. We will talk soon, and enjoy your week. And NBA basketball returning this coming week. So enjoy this final stretch of NBA basketball. Love you guys. Take care, and see ya.